I mean, as crazy as it sounds, the most trusted people in my circle that I have worked with and do work with, um, have those speak to having those first-hand experiences with. Recent exercise that wasn't done on the range in coordination with the DoD or any private partners. It was done with me and the team we've assembled since then, and we have all the tools and talents and techniques that we did in the legacy program, and now we're doing them on our own.
And when you say legacy program, legacy UFO program,
yeah, but legacy is kind of a loaded term, but I would say in everyone's prior scope of work and career fields, they've worked in this capacity and have had these experiences, and now, but doing it on the payroll and under the NDA obligations of the federal government's private partners. A lot of us have left those jobs. I'm no longer doing that work. I'm no longer connected in the same way I was. And since then, we've formed our own organization, and we have all the tools and talent that we had back then, but we have it in a private venture, and we're doing our own exploration.
And who's we?
We is Skywatcher Technologies is a company we formed.
What you're basically saying at a fundamental level is, I think one of the biggest critiques of the UFO phenomena is that it's completely ephemeral. And you're saying it's actually repeatable, because everybody's science needs to be repeatable.
Wrap your knuckles on it. Like, some of the stuff is like, I'm not kidding, like a physical craft.
Every time I drop this pen, it's gonna, hit the ground. And what you're saying is that every time you do these sort of summoning techniques, and then there's like a more physical version. Luis Elizondo, whistleblower who was involved in the OSAP program, writes in his book that they contemplating baiting UFOs with nuclear material. So that's something that's kind of open source and in public record.
It's not all tangible. Drop the pin, it hits the ground. That's why there are 8 or more classes of UAP in our work, because it ranges from the supernatural, like ground-based paranormal phenomenon, to what looks like objects in the sky. And Gary Nolan, he's on our team. He's been there in the desert when we've summoned the egg.
Wow.
In broad daylight.
So you brought Gary Nolan out.
Yeah, he's part of our new
team.
A
Nobel-nominated Stanford professor has seen this occur. He's borne witness to this.
He didn't see it with his own eyes, because no one did. It was moving too fast, but he's seen the report and our sensor data afterwards. All this information that I'm giving you, including our reports, has all been given to Arrow, and we can get into that. But this incident and the future incidents that have happened that we're going to talk about, in the last 5 years, all of this has been disclosed to, I've spent a lot of time speaking. One thing I wanted to do was to do this the right way, was to give our institutions and our authorities a chance to hear this stuff first, and to reconcile it, and to do the right thing with it, and to primarily give me guidance on what to do with it moving forward. So, everything I'm telling you and more has been shared with Congress in a SCIF, in a top secret TSCI environment, where I've given testimony.
Real quick, a SCIF is a secure compartmentalized information facility, basically a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
No signals in or out.
No.
And then TSSCI is top secret compartmentalized information.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about being abducted by these gray aliens, and a lot of the people who describe these abductions say that the gray aliens are sort of droid-like robotic creatures that seem to be sent almost as like messengers, where they're doing these specific retrievals and insertions. So insertions of implants, and then retrievals of gametes, genetic material, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you have any take on any of this stuff?
Man, that stuff, first of all, I have zero experience with gray or beings or meeting something face to face. I'd love to do it. It sounds fun to me. Sign me up. But I mean, as crazy as it sounds, the most trusted people in my circle that I have worked with and do work with, have those speak to having those first-hand experiences with. And so it's like, what do you do with that? And now I'm in the seat of, well, where's the proof? Like, now I'm like, I want to believe that. Like, how can I get there? And I can't, because that's where it's like, I understand where people are taking my information and trying to get there with me. You just can't. I just can't get there. But it's awfully intriguing because I believe that they believe that that happened, and there are reports that we do have biologics in storage, and we just don't know what that is. But this is all the more reason, like, why I'm excited to like move forward in this new venture, and the fact that we have created our own autonomy, and that we're going out, we have a budget, we're operating, and we're in a public-private partnership. And I hope to answer all these questions. Um, uh, if all things go well, before, I'm trying not to say a date, but within the first half of 2025, we hope to do a demonstration and invite key members of the public from institutions, and demonstrate this, and maybe even get something to the ground. If we can do it legally in coordination with our government partners, which we have to do. We can't just go rogue and do this without them. They have to be involved. But it is likely that we'll have an opportunity to do that. And that's going to answer a lot of questions.
That would be absolutely insane.
Look, man, like, the skies aren't classified. Your conscience can't be redacted. So get out there, start looking up, start looking in.
No, yeah, that's part of the reason I'm here, is because, I just became a dad of a daughter who's 3 months old. And I look at this little lady and I feel like this responsibility for helping at least to shape a positive world that heads towards progression in the right direction. And I think disclosure is a much bigger conversation that will open a lot of people's eyes. One thing you said to me on the first phone call we had is, people talk about this feeling of ontological shock, where it's like, it's really hard for a lot of people to face the reality that their entire worldview is being challenged. And I certainly felt that. But one thing you said that I liked was, you like to think of it as ontological relief.
Yes.
Where it's like, actually, some of the questions about, like, when I look up in the sky, it's like, what am I? What are we? How are we here? At least there's like like some semblance of answers, or something a little more that's explained. That actually makes me go, all right, it's making a little bit more sense than it was before.
Yeah, no, and it's something like giving up atheism when you become a parent, because you're like, this can't be all. I can't be the smartest person in the room. I can't be the richest or most influential person in the room. I can't be the most powerful person in the room. This is for the president when he goes to sleep at night. Like, I'm not qualified. Like, I need there to be more. I need there to be deeper meaning. I need there to be more connection between us. Because every person, even the bad guys that we run into in life, at one time, we're just an innocent little baby, and there's something sweet and meaningful in every human. And that's what this whole thing offers. Like, as woo-woo as that sounds, like, that's the best thing that could be harvested by acknowledging this. And it's got this cold military, political, industrial like stigma attached to it, but that's not it. It's not about like flying equipment. Like, oh, can we get in a flying saucer and like get to London in 2 minutes? Right. Or could we get there yesterday? Because now we know, like, screw all that. The real implications are way more powerful. And it's realizing that there is something else out there that's maybe not extra at all. It's something that's part of us. It's like outer space versus inner space is all the same. And so I hope there's something really beautiful on the other side of this, which is why we need more people involved. We need religious communities involved. We need the leftist, most tree-hugging spiritual people to get into this thing that's been controlled and it's been locked up by the most like tyrannical right-wing leaning people.
This is, to me, one of the most important stories in a millennium, let alone a century, because it should make everybody question core ontological truths and, like you said, hopefully open their eyes to a broader reality that is, I think, expansive and exciting. So, wow. Thank you, man.
Well, thank you. The pleasure's mine. And let's make sure we get this out there so that future generations aren't having to rediscover this thing. all over again.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man.